Love music. Live sport. Just the Juniors with John Redmond and special guests on Rock Sport Radio.
Good evening, it's Friday night, it's just after 8 o'clock, so it must be time for Just the Juniors here on Rock Sport Radio, where we dedicate a full hour to junior football. I'm John Redmond, and I will be joined by another special guest tonight to bring you all the news, the views and opinions that surround the juniors in the next 60 minutes. As always, we have a packed show tonight. We're looking back to last weekend's results, looking forward to tomorrow's fixtures, and also interviewing our special guest. Now, speaking of a special guest, I'm joined tonight by another great guy from the junior world. Tonight I'm delighted to welcome our special guest, the new Thorniewood manager, Jamie Nesbitt. Good evening, Jamie, and welcome to the show.
Hi John, thanks for having us.
Good to see you in, Paul. It's a wild night out there, isn't it?
Actually, Jumanji out there, aye.
Jamie, before we're going to talk about what's happening with your new club and your old club, etc., can you just let a listener know your kind of previous managerial playing career?
Aye, so my playing career's, the whole playing career surely has been in the second division. Mm-hmm. Started out at Wishaw Juniors, from there I moved on to Forth Wanderers for a season, and then from there moved to Royal Albert. I spent 5 or 6 seasons at Royal Albert before moving across to Lesmahago, so short journey than the motorway, and I then returned to Royal Albert a season later, so it never really worked out for me at Lesmahago. Great club, good team. They got promoted that year. Mm-hmm. And back to Royal Albert. When I went back to Royal Albert, I joined as a player coach. Had a further season, a bad injury, snapped my cruciate, and for there the kind of coaching took over. I started coaching more and more at that point. Made a wee comeback, played about 10 games after the operation, and then decided to move on for Royal Albert and went to Gartcairn as a assistant manager to Gary Johnson. That game was a short spell there. Gary resigned and I went with him. Moved on to Cambuslang, worked under wee Paul, and we achieved a promotion at the end of the season there at Cambuslang. And then in that summer, I think it was summer 2016, I got a phone call and said that Royal Albert were looking for a new manager and would I be interested in taking it on. Uh-huh. And I spoke to a few people. I was unsure about taking the job on initially. I felt I was a bit inexperienced, but a few people said to me, you don't get offered jobs these days, so if you get offered one, you'll go and take it. So I took it, and then for there, I finished up last week. A couple of weeks ago, I've told the missus it's a break. That's 2 weeks is like a summer holiday, so that's that done. And I'm in at Thorniewood and delighted to be back in so early. So yeah, that's where I've been up to.
Fantastic. We'll speak more about the Thorniewood position shortly, but let's look back at your time in Royal Albert. And your time there as a manager, I'll say, not a player, what's been your greatest achievement?
Greatest achievement?
Was it a league win?
It's got to be the league win, innit? Mm-hmm. It's got to be the league win as a manager. I think to take Royal Albert from where they were, and obviously I didn't do that on my own, there was a load of people in the background that helped with that, but for Royal Albert to go, in my first season we finished third bottom of the league, and 9 of those boys that finished third bottom of the league got a league winners medal the next season. So for me, it's Roy of the Rovers. It's unbelievable, and it was thoroughly deserved. We won 16 games, drew 2, lost 2 in that season. So that's probably the greatest achievement. I think another really big achievement is obviously the position that we've left them in. Yes, Chris have moved on, and there's Royal Albert sits 7th in the first division for the first season being there in their history, I believe. That's another phenomenal achievement, but that's all credit to the boys. The boys cross the white line. They play the game, so it's all credit to the players who are there.
It's well publicised about the lack of funding, etc. at Royal Albert. So, how do you attract players in such a small budget?
There isn't a budget. There's none. There's no money. So you can't go and buy MD. And in the odd time where the committee have said to me, look, there's a couple £100 there. You could go and buy somebody. Well, you can't pay them. So there's no much point in that. The kind of philosophy I had when I went in there was I thought about who do you go and get and how do you get them, and the first theory was let's go and get some players who are in the first division or in the second division, high end of the league, but they're not getting a game. That was the first thing I thought. Can we go and offer somebody junior football? Can we go and offer them a game week in, week out? So that was where it kind of stemmed from. And then as you become a wee bit more successful or a bit more competitive, surely in the first season, you then get people phoning you. You then get people sending you messages saying, can I come for a trial? And it kind of started for there. The second season was all about, we knew we had a good team there, we knew we had a good nucleus. It was all about adding a bit of experience at that point to try and make us a bit more competitive. And we hit the ground running and obviously went on and won it in the second season.
And also this season, you've been in our 7th place in that championship. That league. Is it a good standard in the league?
I would say it is. If you look at the top of the table, you'll see the amount of wins that have been picked up between the top 4. Even if you go down to Blantyre 10 wins, and then Royal Albert we 9 wins up to last week. So I think the standard's decent. I always hear folks saying the standard in junior football's, it's Drogham, it's not what it was 10 years ago, but probably 10 years ago folk were saying the standard in junior football is Drogham. But there's a good standard there, right? Some right good teams in that league.
That's what gets me, that's what I was asking you about, because you look at the league and you've got the Shotts Bonaccord, Winton Rovers, Greenock Juniors, Bells Hill, Maryhill, Shettleston, Wishaw, all big name clubs in the past few years and gone by, so they're starting to come back again, aren't they? And it's really, Gartcairn are phenomenal this season.
There's a lot of clubs in there that have got a proud history. And Gartcairn they're flying.
Yeah.
They're flying. There doesn't look as though there's any stopping Jamie and his guys there. They're doing really, really well. But as you say, there's a lot of history in there, and for Royal Albert to be in there competing and beating these teams, beating these teams is a great achievement.
Yep. You've since she left, have appointed Simon Eales into your position as manager at Royal Albert. Were you involved in that appointment anyway? Because it sounds to me as if it's been a very amicable separation between yourselves and Royal Albert. It
has been. I said to the club that I was going to step down at the end of the season. If they'd allowed me to see the season, I would stay. But if they wanted me to go to do something else, then I would have went. And that's what happened the other week. Simon had been talked about the job, and he eventually accepted the job after a couple of weeks, and I felt it was right to kind of step over. I'd spoke with the club a couple of things, did they go down the 21s route if they're not going to pay wages, but I'd known that Simon had been interested in getting a job, and I'd said, it might be worth having a wee conversation with Si. I didn't pick him. I don't want the big Davy Moyes banner or that, but I didn't pick him, so, but Si, I think Si will do a great job there. I think he will.
Well, he knows the game inside out, he's played at high level, isn't he? And he knows a few players about the place. But when you initially were going to leave, it was just to retire at the end of the season or take a break away from football. There wasn't a club involved at that point?
No, there was nothing. I didn't have anything. I had no contact with anybody. I just thought I'd done everything I could for Royal Albert. And as I said to you earlier, I've kind of grown up with Royal Albert. Yeah. My wife's grown up with Royal Albert, my 2 kids. It was just a point where I thought, I don't think I can take us, much further forward, and we need a change of tact maybe. That was all it was. It was just and I'm ambitious. I think I'd taken them where I could, and maybe I need a new challenge, and thankfully that's came along at Thorniewood.
So was Royal Albert the kind of big team in Larkhall this season, is it?
We've always been the big team in Larkhall when I was there.
Well done. So moving on to your new job at Thorniewood, a lot of people will be saying, well, why drop down a division and take a club over when you're sitting already up there? Because you must have ambition to do well. So sometimes in life, as you say, you may have to go backwards to go forwards. That's your thinking?
That's exactly it. And I've been really impressed with the guys here. As I say, they made contact on Sunday. We went on the Monday. And initially, when you walk in as a player, and you always know you get to the changing room. But when you go in and you have that tour, and you see that they've got a hospitality section. They've then got a sort of manager's meeting office with a physio room at the back of it, all the equipment. When you see all that, you think, well, wait a wee minute. And I saw the pictures on the wall of them winning the cup in 2000. I think it was 2015 they won a cup, and the league flag on the wall for the last time they won the league. And I thought, this is a decent club. It's a big club. It's maybe underachieving at the present time, but sometimes you find yourself in football that at Royal Albert we found ourselves challenging up in the mid-table in the first division. In Thorniewood, we found ourselves back in the second division. So there's something to build there. But for me, it's a wee project. It's something that I can, have a different experience with regards to budget. And I never had that experience at Royal Albert. Never had somebody say to me, why have I been docked this, or why is the club doing that? So that's going to be a new experience for me and Dolsey.
How do you dock nothing, isn't it?
Aye, how do you dock nothing? And we'll embrace that. Me and Dolsey will embrace that. We're really looking forward to it. We're really excited about it.
It's a good experience for yourself as well. If your aspirations are going higher as well, like you used to work with budgets, working with doing the transfers, etc., working with other managers to get players in and players out, sort of thing.
Absolutely, it's all about that. It's all about progression for me. It's I've, as I said to you earlier, I didn't have the opportunity to play at the top level. That was my fault, but I know that I need to apply myself to manage at the top level, and I'm ambitious. And if you think a few years back when Kieran was looking after Thorniewood, they were a few points away from hitting the Premier League. You know, so Thorniewood have been there or thereabouts, and I see it as a big club, and I see it as a great challenge for us.
Yep. Cotter, he's the manager there just now. Is he stepping down? Is he staying in the committee, or is he walking away altogether? You know.
I know. No, James is retiring. So
at last, is he?
He's retiring. My dad played football with James actually, but again, that's all amicable. There's a couple of things on Twitter. Why now? And James has went on. And James has said he actually recommended both the boys at Royal Albert to the committee. So that's all been amicable as well.
Have you identified any players for next season? Or are you a bit early for that?
It's a bit early. We know the majority of the players that are at Thorniewood at the minute, and we think there's a good squad there, a good squad of players with good experience, might add. So the initial stage will be about assessing what we've got there, and then thinking about where we need to improve on to make the squad a bit stronger.
Yes. So looking at the league position, they've scored 51 goals and 30 against. So the strike force must be pretty good.
I think that for what I hear, there's a young lad from Blantyre on loan who's doing really well, and the lad Gary Stewart as well is doing really well at the minute. Apparently there really is only 2 strikers, so that might be the first position we look at trying to strengthen to help the boys out if they come to injuries or suspension at this time of year. But as you see, that the goal scoring ratio and the goals against ratio is decent for them. You know, it's just it's the defeats that's hampering us at the minute.
I think I'm right in saying they had a slow start to the season as well. I mean, I can remember speaking in here some Friday nights, looking at results and saying that Cotter was struggling a bit to get results, and then James the boy got the act together and they started playing that league rapidly. I mean, last week it was a 5-0 victory last week away to Saltcoats, and I think Saltcoats did really well the week before, and I think they beat Irvine Meadow in a friendly in the midweek, so that's not to be laughed at. That's not a fluke. There's a good side there, and maybe the start has hampered them for being a bit further up the league, but you know, in my opinion, we're not that far away for what I've seen of them. No, good side. And the committee, have they give you any targets for next season, or is it too early for to talk about it yet? We never really spoke about targets. We spoke around about, you know, what I would like to do and where I see us, and you know, I spoke about a 3-year plan that we had at Royal Albert and a similar sort of situation at Thorniewood, where we probably need a bit of stability. You know, there's a couple of managers the last couple of years, so I think the committee will have their own aspirations. I think we'll discuss them towards the end of the season, and we'll have our own expectations as well. And finally, Jamie, before we go to break, have you met the players yet, or are you due to meet them?
No, we've not met the players yet. James is still in charge until tomorrow. So we'll either meet the players, if the game's off tomorrow, we'll meet the players tomorrow. If it's off, and if it's on, well, we'll meet them. We'll let them prepare, and we'll meet them on Monday night.
Well, thanks very much so far for that, Jamie. That's a good insight to your new managerial position that's coming up. We'll go to a commercial break now. When we come back, we'll be looking at last week's results.
Love music, live sport. Just the Juniors with John Redmond and special guests on Rock Sport Radio.
Welcome back to Just the Juniors with myself, John Redmond. I'm in conversation with Thorniewood United's new manager, Jamie Nesbitt. Jamie, we spoke about your days in Royal Albert there and your challenge next season with Thorniewood. So, well, have you look back now at last week's results in the West League? Starting off, Auchinleck Talbot 9, Cambuslang Rangers 1. Now, we don't like to see heavy defeats like that in the junior game, but it just shows you how much work Alan Patterson's got there at Cambuslang. But it's saying that, who wants to go to Auchinleck the way they're playing just now? They're on fire, and that result puts them 6 games behind Hurlford and only 8 points. So it's looking good for Talbot.
Aye, there's never a good time to go and play against Talbot, as they're the informed team and they've been a force for years under Tommy. Yep. I think Alan's got a hard job there, but he's a good guy. I've come up against him at East Kilbride, and one thing he's got is he's got contacts. He's got good contacts.
Great contacts.
And he'll build that Cambuslang side, and they'll be a force next season, I think.
So he was in a couple of weeks ago and he was telling me his plans, and you're right, I mean, it's too far gone this season now for him to do anything. It's all about the learning curve from quite sure to see what players he's got, what position he's strengthened, and I don't get that. As you say, he's got good contacts in the game, and we wish him well, and because Cambuslang are certainly going to go down to the first division, so there'll be a rebuilding job for him.
He's great experience for him managing the Premier League though, isn't it?
Fantastic. Beath 1, Cumnock 2, a bit of surprise. Cumnock were struggling a little bit there for the last couple of weeks, couldn't buy a victory, but that's a great 3 points there down at Bellsdale Park for them.
Away from home, Cumnock are another big side, aren't they? And if a managerial change there with Paul Burns going in recently. Beath, I know it's a shock. we played Beath in the semi-final of the Evening Times last year, and really impressed with them. I think, is it Mr. Bowl?
Yes,
Mr.
John.
Bowl was very
John Bowles a gentleman, isn't he?
absolute gent. He was very nice to me and Chris on the day as well. Very complimentary.
Doesn't matter when you go to Beath, you've got him and you've got Robert McCarthy, and they're always looked after.
Aye, absolute gent.
Pure gentleman, yeah. I remember a few seasons back, if you might remember, Craig Mark, Plantonians went down there to play him, and Craig Mark were really back to all that time. And John and Robert gave Craig Mark the gate money from the cup tie that day. I mean, it's £300-400. That meant the world to Craig Mark. To keep them going for us. Almost half a season.
I'm pretty sure there was a similar gesture that day when we played them with Royal Albert, and I'm sure his words to Peter were, we were never always a top team. We know what it's like to be down there and keep up the good work.
Can't praise too much of that.
Brilliant.
Great stuff. Glenafton 3, Evermeadow 2. Now, Evermeadow on the high-flying side there for a few weeks, but that's Glenafton get a 3-2 victory at home against them, and they've leapfrogged them into second place. So Southie will be delighted. He's got another 3 points, and he's up there second top in that division, because Southie's been through a hard time earlier on this season as well, but Southie being Southie, he knows the game inside out, and he's bounced back.
Aye, Glenafton, both sides are good. Dolsey's got a good relationship with Gints.
Yep.
Gints offers a bit of advice for us from time to time, and Brian's done really well to turn that around their team. I mean, Southie's a cracking player. I remember playing for Royal Albert against Glenafton in there, and Southie played right good side. I think we drew one each, and I think they'd done us 5-1 in the replay. But I think Southie was a bit shocked that day, and we got one each draw with them.
Conan Rangers nil, Kilburn Leeds side 1 now. This is desperate 3 points with Kilburn last week, but Conan Rangers, they've got a few hiccups the last few weeks. Things are not going well for them. Like that heavy defeat against Lags in the Scottish Cup, and they haven't really recovered from that. And Chris Strain is under a bit of pressure, I'm hearing.
I've not really heard that. As I said, I'd watched Strain playing for Meadow, bags of experience, good footballer. In fact, obviously Liam McGuinness, the manager at Kilburn as well. I think they were centre midfield pairing for Meadow at one point.
Right.
But Strain, he's a decent guy for when I've came across him, and I think he'll turn that around. I think there's an issue there.
Well, that's the thing that really disappoints me sometimes about the junior game, Jamie. I mean, what he's done for Conan Rangers, he went there and they were sitting, I think he just promoted to the Ayrshire District League or something. He's taken them to Scottish Cup semi-finals, he's been competing at latter cup ties, and he had them sitting up almost second top of the division. Now, 2 or 3 bad results and they're shouting for his head. I mean, that's ridiculous. The day we played them at Conan, he'd been out in the morning cutting the grass himself in the park, so people don't see that, what he's doing in the background as well as doing a good job managerial.
Some people think because they've paid their £5 or £6, they get the right to shout whatever they want, but there's a lot of work goes on with junior committees and junior managers that goes unseen.
Yep. Peters Hill, they're starting to struggle now. They've a couple of good results this season, but inconsistent. Last week was an inconsistent day for them. Pollock went there and won 4-0. Murdo was in last week, and he was very aware about that game, but I think he was just kidding me on because they've had a comfortable victory.
A 4-0 victory for Pollock. I think Peters Hill found it tough at getting out of the division after winning the Old Super first, didn't they? But is it Scott Patterson that's at Peters Hill, isn't it? Wally Patterson, sorry. Wally's been there for a long time, hasn't he?
He's done a good job for me, and I was a bit surprised because we'd played them last season, obviously in the same old first division, and they were a good side last year. I thought they'll go on, but they just haven't been able to make that step. I think they lost a few players in the close season to other clubs, and it's been hard to replace them.
Difficult to rebuild, especially when you're in the Premier League.
That's right, and especially Paul just now as well, because they'd be smart, and they went to the Scottish Cup League before against Talbot, so Murdo would have his boys up fired and make sure that they finish as high up that division as they can. I mean, I was trying to get him to admit that they wouldn't win the league this season, but Murdo wouldn't commit to that. He said there's still a chance, and as long as it's mathematically possible, yes, but he kept it going anyway. A great 4-0 victory at Peters Hill, but I always think as well, it doesn't matter how poor Peters Hill playing, it's always a difficult place to go, isn't it, to get a result. So any club going there and winning 4-0, people got to start and take notice of that.
That surrounding in the plastic pitch, you never know what you're going to get when you come up against that. Not a fan of the plastic pitch, to be honest.
No, I don't like it myself, and especially if it's a windy day as well. I mean, it's a bit of a farce, isn't it? This is the result of the day in the Premier League, I think. Renfrew 5, Lads Thistle 2. Now, I haven't heard any reports about the game. I'm not too sure whether many Lags had a player sent off or not, but that's been disrespectful even thinking about Renfrew, because that's a fantastic 5-2 result for Renfrew at home. A great 3 points that they badly needed, but Lags been flying, and it really surprised me. I mean, as I said, they hammered Kilwinning 5-0 in the Scottish Cup the week before, and then they go down there to Renfrew and get beat 5-2.
Games maybe caught up with them a wee bit there. The 2 games against St Rochs as well. It was a replay, wasn't it, against St Rochs, and then another game. But as I say, it's a great result for Renfrew, and they'll have the belief that they're above Kilburn in the league, and they'll be trying to stay there, won't they?
Mm-hmm. And the final game was Troon 3, Rob Roy 2. It's a game that Rob Roy took lead 1-0, and then Troon come back, equalised, and actually Troon went 3-1 up with 4 minutes to play and got a penalty kick, and Ryan Stevenson missed the penalty kick. The goalkeeper saved it. They went up their end, and the usual happened. Rob Roy got the second goal, and it was backs to the wall for the last 4 or 5 minutes for the Troon boys, but they held out and got there, so it was a good 3 points for them.
I was impressed with yourselves with Troon when we played in the cup. I think we were unlucky that day. We took our chances.
The first half, we had good chances, yeah.
I think we kind of gave you a wee bit of fright, but I think Maxie's got a good cool winning side. He's been there for a while. There's stability there. But as you said there, with it, Naddy and Stevenson, you've got firepower there, haven't you?
Well, Big Naddy's away now. He's away to Annan. He's lifted. Went to Annan in the window. But
no bad replacement in Stevenson, though, is it?
Stevenson and John Gemmell. Big John Gemmell's come in.
Big Gemmell there as well.
That was John's first game because he'd been suspended. So he was finding his feet as well. Aye. So that's a good strike force. But
good.
A hard game tomorrow for them. But anyway, we'll look at that later on. Moving into Championship. Dorey Thistle 1, Nielsen 3. Now, Dorey's a team this season that disappointed me slightly. I thought Gavin Friels' side and the players he had about there be competing up the top end, and they're kind of languishing there, just kind of mid-table, and they're taking a few defeats recently, and it surprises me.
Aye, they were a decent side. We played them with Royal Albert in the Evening Times Cup as well. We victory against them, but as you say, Friels had a decent side, a good experience. Big Chris McGowan and them.
Big Chris is there
as well.
Right.
Gareth Turner was there at the time as well, but I thought they would maybe done they would have been a wee bit higher up the league than what they are.
This next result, Jamie, that just shows you when your season's going against you, it's going against you. Keller Rovers, who are struggling to get a victory, they've only had 3 this season, are leading 3-1 against Irvine Vicks in a game that's abandoned. Yeah, when your luck's out and that happens, don't you?
That's what they say. If it wasn't for Naylock, they wouldn't have any.
That's right.
Why was the game abandoned? Yeah,
weather conditions. Weather conditions. I think it was just wild. So a couple of games that were abandoned, and the other game was Lark Hall against Girvan. It was abandoned at 1 each half time. Now, I know it was kind of touch and go where the game took place to start with, didn't it, at Gasworth Park, and both managers had spoke to the referee, but the referee said he would start the game, and then he got to half time, and seemingly one of the linesmen or the assistant referee turned his ankle on the conditions, so
that was
they decided to stop the game. All square at 1 each, so it's a good time to stop it. We can stop it at all, I suppose.
Aye.
Kilsyth 2, Darvel 1 now. Kilsyth's had a good season this season, new management team getting in there, but Darvel, they've got a new man coming in as well, Mick Kennedy. He's taking over at the start of the season next year, so a bit like yourself, they're getting new blood into there.
I heard that Mick's going in for Covell Park, isn't he? A very successful amateur side. I've always been impressed with Kilsyth Rangers. The great setup, lovely pitch, and I think as I say, the guys are new in there, aren't they? They'll be finding their feet and probably looking to mount a realistic challenge next year, no doubt.
Yes, and as you say, Kilsyth Rangers are a huge club, big set-up, and I think it's a club that deserves to be in the Premiership. They're going the right way. They're starting to build up again and come back. The game of the match last week in this division, as far as I was concerned, before it kicked the ball, was Rossvale and Benburb, and it finished Rossvale 0, Benburb 1. Now, that just proves to me why Benburb are sitting top of the league, because Rossvale are a very good side this season. Gordon Moffat's got his team playing very well. They're sitting there at 18 games played and 37 points. And yeah, they thought, well, if they're at 83 points here, they're pressed on. But Frank and Paul Lovering and all the boys down there, they've just showed how good a side they are this season, I think, with that result.
Aye, the Bens have come a long way, haven't they? They get promoted out of the second division a few years ago when I was at Gartcairn. I was really impressed with them then. And as you say, they've just went from strength to strength. And even Rossvale, Moff's got the boys at Rossvale playing some right good football.
They're really good. They're really good.
So we've had a couple of dealings with Rossvale for loan players, and Moff really passionate about his football as well. He loves his football.
I was saying this couple of weeks time, the result amazed me. They went to Tayport in the Scottish with a 5-0 victory up there, and then they went to high flying Lanark and they took them back for a replay at Rossvale, but lost the game. But so he knows the game inside out, does Moff, and it's a great result for the Bairns last week. Glencairn 3, Craigmartin 0. That's not a surprise, no?
No surprise.
No.
They're a fantastic side. A really, really good side. Loads of players, and they seem to click. I've had a couple of conversations with the guy, George, their coach, George Fotheringham, And again, really passionate about his football, loves his football. But the boys there, we'll not talk about pre-season. We're all going to Clare, and we took a bit of dono for them in pre-season. But a very, very good side. Very good side.
And I watched the highlights of that game as well, and they've missed a penalty kick as well. So it's going
I tell you,
more comfy.
That was a long drive up the road, me and Chris Dolan. The one thing I learned out of that is I'll never take a pre-season tournament again unless I've got a squad of 40.
What about St Ross beating Athlete 2-1 at James McGrory Park? That's a great result for them. Athlete's flying high, Big Sinky's got his side playing well, but Andy will be delighted the St Ross boys have got that result at home.
Aye, two good guys. Andy's built something. He's built something that's really unbelievable there. St Ross get promoted out of the second division the last day of the season against Royal Albert. With a draw against us, and they've went on from strength to strength. And as you say, Big Sinky's played at the top level in the juniors, and he's been a Scottish Cup finalist as well. He knows the game. But a good result for St Rock's. And
a great spells manager at Larkhall as well. Our club.
He did.
I think it felt a wee bit sore to end up down there, which is unfortunate after all the good times you had there.
I don't know. I wasn't privy to any of that. I wished him well. When he went, he was always very complimentary us when we'd played them in games, and we always managed a few draws. We never managed to beat Larkhall when I was there, but he was always very complimentary. Always very much, you'll keep doing what you're doing. You're doing really well, kind of guy. Very genuine.
Is it rivalry between the two sides in Larkhall and Royal Albert? Is it help each other out where they can?
I think there's an amicable agreement with both of them. There's no. I don't think there's any bitterness between both of them. Royal Albert shared with Larkhall for a number of years.
Yes.
There's never been any bad blood there between both of them. I think that Larkhall going through a tough time, aren't they? But I'm sure Craw will turn that around. I'm sure Brincroft will turn that around there.
Well, that was a couple of weeks ago. That's 2 victories I had, and then as I say, it was 1 each for Girvan at half time. They got abandoned on Saturday, so it's good to see Larkhall starting to get a couple of victories under their belt.
It's a funny old game.
Well, that's the championship looked at, Jamie. We'll move away from juniors now to senior football, because there's an important Premier League fixture in Edinburgh tonight between Hibs and Rangers taking place. And we've got man at the match, and here his half-time report is Brian Rayburn.
Yes, well, Rangers started this game in a very flexible 4-5-1 formation and took the game to Hibs, who had Darren McGregor booked very early on for an arm across Morelos' face. Hibs were doing a lot of defending as an Arfield shot from close range after a Kent cutback from the left was deflected over. Morelos then caught Hanlon in possession and set off for goal, but Marciano did well to close the striker down and block his shot. Arfield was then through. This time Darren McGregor got across to block his shot. As the rain returned, Rangers kept the pressure on Hibs, and Halliday should have done better and shoot over from 12 yards after good build-up play. Kent then forced a good save from Marciano with a shot from the edge of the 18-yard area, but Rangers were in control, and their well-deserved opener came in the 43rd minute when Candias composed himself in the right-hand corner of the Hibs penalty area after Rangers had broken up field to curl a magnificent shot into the top corner of Marciano's net. No more than they deserve. This is Brian Rayburn for Rock Sport Radio here at Easter Road, where at half-time it is Hibernian 0, Rangers 1.
Thanks for that, Brian. You listen to Just the Juniors with myself, John Redmond. I'm in conversation with Jamie Nesbitt, the Thorniewood United manager. So we're looking at last week's results just now, Jamie. Move into your division, League 1. Blantyre Vic 6, Maybole 1. Now, Maybole are really struggling this season, and a lot of young boys playing down there with Campbell, Carlo Walker, etc. But Blantyre's a good side. Gibby's got a great side going there, isn't he?
Aye, Gibby's got a great side. We played them early. I think it was the first game of the season we played them. They scored late on to win 2-1, but I've not come across Maybole or Carlo before. I've heard loads about Carlo, again, enthusiastic for his football, but sometimes you need to stick with the kids for a period of time, don't you? It might come good in a year or so if they keep them together.
I think what the problem is he's got a couple of suspensions as well now, and it's hard to bring boys in when you're really struggling to get your best 11 in the park to start with. But you say he's enthusiastic as Carlo, and he'll just keep working away. But Blantyre 6-1's a good result for Blantyre. You've got to beat teams in front of you, doesn't matter how poor they are.
Well, that's it. Blantyre are playing catch up, but they've got to go and win their games. So I'm sure Gibby will have the boys focused game at a time.
Great. East Kilbride, we're talking about Alan Parson, his old club there. East Kilbride 1, Maryhill 2. So a good result for Maryhill to go to Show Park and get 3 points.
Aye, good result for Maryhill. Keeps them kind of away for that area. Keeps them building their points. Donegal maybe were a bit disappointed. I think East Kilbride were 1-0 up in that game, but I was impressed with Maryhill and East Kilbride, both good footballing sides. They look to play football. Impressed with both of them this year.
Yes, it's Maryhill. They've come through the under-21 route, haven't they? They've got one or two younger boys playing.
They had a few kids playing, but they look to play the right way. Same as Yoker. I know you'll get to Yoker, but same as Yoker, they look to play the right way. They look to play football.
Yep.
Which we like to see.
Well, speaking there about top of the league with Gartcairn, and this next result just shows how convincing a team they are this season, how good a side they are. Gartcairn 4, Port Glasgow 0. Now, Port Glasgow are a good side in their own right, so to get a team like that 4-0, that puts a line in the sand for me to say Gartcairn's the team to catch in that division.
It looks like Gartcairn they're the team to beat. They've only lost one game all season, and then Port inflicted that defeat. So Jamie's got Gartcairn flying, and the boys at Port, Big Eddie and wee Coyle, they've been about the game as well. They've got a good side there, but I think, as you say, Gartcairn they're the team to beat in that division, and I don't there's going to be any stopping them.
No, maybe Shorts might be the only club if any, but we'll come to them later on because they did a great result themselves last week. But Wishaw Juniors, they headed to Ravens Creek Stadium in Greenock and come away with a 1-0 victory. That's a huge 3 points for Wishaw. They really needed them.
At Royal Albert, we'd beaten them a couple of weeks ago at home, and I think they've got games to play, but when you're done there, you need to go and dig results out and win. And a away win at Greenock's no mean feat, is it? They're a good side. So Kieran and the lads have done well to go and win that game.
Royal Albert 4, Lugar Boswell 1. Now, Lugar Boswell tell me they had 8 people at the pub playing, but I don't know if that's true. It's just Jimmy.
I don't know. I wasn't there.
Oh, you're there?
I wasn't there. Simon was in the dugout.
Oh, it's actually his first victory. Okay,
Simon's first victory. So congratulations to Simon. But I was looking for the result, but it never came through till full time. Peter must have been busy with his suit and stuff at the weekend. But there was no tweets on the result. But again, brilliant. Well done to Royal Albert. It's great to see them. Great to see them continuing.
It's a good start. I think they're similar to Maybole. I think they've got 2 young boys there and not got consistency in their
They have. We played them in the Scottish and we played them in the league, and it was a very young side. Apparently there was some sort of tie up with Ayr. I don't know if that's true or no, but
they used to have it. I don't know if it's still going.
It was a very young side. I'm talking boys 17, 18. It's
a big ask.
It is a big ask.
It's a big ask. Shots Bonaccord 2, Ardrossan Minton Rovers 0. Now, this is a game I wouldn't mind taking in myself before last Saturday. I thought it looked good in paper and it turned out that way. Big John's side Shots getting the 3 points, and Stevie Wilson will be an unhappy man. I know he's been 1 or 2 injuries and he's been on the phone everywhere this week looking to strengthen his team, and he also has strengthened his team by bringing in Michael Wardrop from Kilwinning Rangers.
It seems like a good signing. We lost to Ardrossan and Shots early on in the season, and then we would do Ardrossan in the worst conditions ever, and we drew 4 each. Them down there, but I was really impressed with Ardrossan. We were 4-0 up when they pegged that back, so they've got a good spirit. They never knew they were beaten. I think if the game went on another 10 minutes, the scoreline might have been different. And Stevie's got a really good side, but John's been over the course. He'll keep going about his business quietly. He'll be confident that he can go and catch Gartcairn. We've got a game in hand to Gartcairn, but okay, they're 7 points behind. So when the game in hand, there's 4 points of difference, and it depends. I'm not sure whether they're still to meet each other. I think they will have possibly. I think they've played each other twice now. I think that's done. I think if it's in Gartcairn's hand, to be honest, I think so. Yoker, the team you're speaking about earlier on there, they took a home defeat from Bells Hill. Rob Snedden Jr., good result for Rob, 3-1 there at home park. And Yoker's a team that's surprised me. I see they've been doing better than they have been doing. Because a bit like yourself, I like the way they play football. They come out to us last season, puts out Scottish Cup at Troon, and I thought, that's not a good outfit. Yeah. They just haven't taken off this season at all. We finished up there at Royal Albert, 1 defeat in the last 11, and it was Yoker that inflicted the defeat. And in the changing room, I said to the boys after a rant, might I add, but I said to the boys after it that Yoker would, they would get out of that position in the league, they would climb the league. And I'm really surprised that hasn't happened, because after beating Royal Albert, they've not went on and won another game since then. Still sitting there doing third bottom of that division. And it might have just been I don't want to do them a disservice, it might have just been a one-off performance, but I tell you what, they played us off the park. No, that day they came down to Troon last year, I thought very impressed by them. Played us off the park. Yep. Moving to League 2, Anbank 3, St Ant's 4. Now, St Ant's a good victory. New Pebble Park's always difficult down there. And they're similar to
Barry's got a young side there and they're not inconsistent there. And saying that, they've got Jordan Ryan up front, Starwell, who's scoring a few goals for them, so I think it's losing goals the problem. Let's see if we are this season.
I think St Anthony's are a decent side as well, though, aren't they? You know, they've got games in hand, so you see St Anthony's climb that league. I spoke to Colin Smith, who's involved with St Anthony's the other day. Colin's a great pedigree. He was at Johnson Borough as well, so I think you'll see the Ants climb up the league a few positions.
Mm-hmm. Lanark United, who are sitting top of the league just now, they headed down to Ardere Stadium and defeated Ardere by 4-2, so that keeps the pressure up top for them. Keeps Les Mahigo chasing them just behind them, but we'll come to Les Mahigo's result soon.
Aye, as I say, Lanark, for the few years in that second division where they probably think they shouldn't be there, you know, just we spoke earlier about Premier League clubs, and Lanark were in that Premier Division and they've dropped right down to the second, but Colin Slater has done a great job there, you know. Les Mahigo a very good side, and to be ahead of them with them being the team to catch, Lanark being the team to catch, I think Colin's due a lot of credit for what he's done there.
They come to Troon next week in the west of Scotland, and we've had them watched a couple of times, and yes, they're a good side. They're a good side. You give them chances, they'll score goals up top. They're good strikers.
Yeah, they're decent.
Mm-hmm. A great result last week for Les Mahigo. They went to Ashfield and beat Ashfield by 6-3. Now, that's a great result, because Ashfield are a good side this season as well. They're sitting on their fourth top of that division, and they'll be fans their chances of hoping to get up promoted out as well. So, but Les Mahigo went and showed them a thing or two by winning with 6-3.
I think when you look at the division, I think Lanark and Les Mahigo are probably, you know, spot on to go and be promoted out of that league, and probably that'll be the two that will fight for the trophy. But the defeat to Ashfield probably opens up to another 3 or 4 teams for the third spot. Maxie will probably be disappointed with the result, and 6 goals at home. He'll probably be disappointed with that as well. But Weirab's got a cracking side there.
It's a good side there.
Let's no kid on. He's went and signed really, really well.
What impressed me about your Rab's side is getting the 2 heavy defeats at Talbot and they've bounced straight back. I mean, a lesser club would have bounced back from the heavy defeats at Talbot inflicted on him.
Rab's been across the course as well, though, hasn't he? He's been there, coming up Scottish Cup finals, promotions with Les Mahigo, league wins with Les Mahigo. He's a Les Mahigo man, but I think you'll see them coming up. And again, he was very cute. He signed very well. Signed some of the top players for that call when Sinky moved on. So a good side there.
And for a taster, semi-success, they got to a cup final this season, although they did take that heavy defeat in the final, but they were in the final. A lot of clubs were in the final, and that was a great experience for them.
Well, that's it. For a second division club to get to any of the cup finals is a great achievement.
Great. Muirkirk 6, Johnson Borough 0. Now, Johnson Borough, they're for a finer, hard season this season, aren't they? I mean, but Muirkirk, that's a good result for them, but it's a place I never like going at any time is Burnside Park, Muirkirk. I always find it, the atmosphere and the weather, and it's a hard place to go.
I've never been down to Muirkirk. We've got them tomorrow. I'll be at the game tomorrow, so I'll see Kevin Muirhead.
He's done a good job down there.
He's done really well. He's started at New Mains and then he's moved on, and he's done well with Muirkirk. But I think 6-0 against Johnson Borough. Johnson Borough started the season well. I thought they would have been up there, and they gave us a fright before we won the league with Royal Albert. They were 1-0 up. We'd come back to win 3-1, and then wait and Cartcairn going in there for us to win the league. But they played some nice football. A young manager. And a few young players, but they played the right way, so I'm surprised to see them kind of sitting where they are.
But as you say, I was watching the results at the start of the season, they were high flying at the start, but hit a brick wall, so hopefully they can bounce back. Salkett's 0, Thorniewood United 5 now. Have you heard anything about last week's game? That's a good result, because Salkett's were doing well, as you said before. They had a couple of good friendly results against Irvine Meadow, and they beat Ardere Thistle in the leagues, and they're just starting to get some wins together. So to go down there and win 5-0 at Campbell Park, which is another difficult part because it's right next to the sea, and there's the atmosphere and the wind there as well. It's a bit of a lottery.
Cotter tells me the 200-mile round trip to get there, so that just shows you what
they get lost, did he?
James's commitment. He was away, but I think to go away from home and score 5 goals is a great achievement for any side, no matter who you're playing. By all accounts, James had told me that he's probably one of the first times of the season a full squad to pick for that game. So
it just shows you what kind of squad they've got when they get in the park.
Great result.
It's a difficult place Salkett's to go, so winning 5-0, very impressed with that. Vale Clyde 2, New Mains 0, not a surprise. Jamie?
I've spoke to Guppy a few times, and Big Craig Gutwell's he's got New Mains playing better than what they were playing. They're picking up more points, so again for him it's progression and how they move forward. But Marky's got a good side at Vale Clyde. We trained next to Vale Clyde before I finished at Royal Albert in one of the indoor pitches with the cold weather. They had 20 players at training.
Aye.
And I was running out to my motor to pull my boots on to play 5-a-sides with the boys. So they've got a good squad there, and they'll stick together.
What, Vale leaving 2-0 against Carluke? That's a good result. Just two clubs that you look at the league position are kind of similar. Mid-table, both played 21. There's only 2 points of difference now. So that 3 points helped Vale even close the gap in Carluke.
Aye, again, it keeps that third spot opened up, doesn't it? Vale leaving's always the pitch in there would have been immaculate. It's a great place to go, and I'm sure Dale and Davey at Carluke will be disappointed with that. I think they would have looked to go and win there and try and put themselves forward towards the third position.
I mean, if they got the 3 points, the pressure's right on there for looking for the third position. We're only a couple of points off it.
Aye, I think it would have been maybe an opportunity miss for Carluke.
But Vale even done well to keep themselves alive. Now, the last couple of games we'll look at, last week there's cup ties, both in the West of Scotland, cup tie, second round, Cumbernauld 7, Shettleston 0. Shettleston are not doing too well this season, are they? And in that club I'm really surprised at, because I thought that after last season they would go down and regroup and they'd come back stronger, but it's just not happening for them.
Aye, we beat Shettleston away from home a few weeks ago when I was at Royal Albert, and again they're a very young side. John, they didn't look to have any experience throughout the team. Young lad Noodles in the middle of the park. He's a decent player, good player, but he probably needs a bit of experience, running about them. And in the end, they lost their discipline. In the end, there's 2 or 3 players sent off towards the end. But speaking to Hugh after the game, he's always going to be there. He's never going to give up. Again, his commitment towards Shettleston second to none, isn't it?
I think when Hugh gives up, Shettleston will not be there any longer. I mean, the work he does for the club, and he's not the manager now, but I'm quite sure he's doing every bit as much work as he did when he was the manager.
Aye, he's still there. He's still in the dugout offering help. He's still there. But come on, old Andy Frame's got a right good side there.
See, there's an art club a bit like Glencairn. They're always just about there the last few seasons to get promoted, and you think this season's going to be in just inconsistent too often, aren't they?
Aye, inconsistency
might. They've got great players about them.
It might be that they have got some great players running about there, but is it expectation? Is there too much expectation on them, to go and get out of the league and reach the Premier League? Is it too much expectation, or is it inconsistency? But there's a few players there that are, they're right good players.
Many a club would be pleased to have 1 or 2 of the players that go that come on those,
Big Boy Murphy and Big Boy McCabe, haven't they? And they've got young lad Connor Stephen, who's local to where I live, Connor Stevenson. He's a right good football player. There's some right good players there.
Yep, very good. And the final one's Scottish Junior Cup quarter-final replay at Clydebank. Well, it's at Lochburn Park, Maryhill, actually. It's Clydebank 1, Hurlford 3 now. I think Clydebank maybe fancied their chances after the week before when Hurlford scored a late goal to get the replay, but Darren's side this season, they don't know when they're beat. We've played them twice this season and been very impressed by them, and they started the season on fire. I think they finished the first 11 games undefeated and then lost a couple of games, but they're now starting to come back now, and the cup draw taking place between Hurlford and Largs and Lochee and Talbot, it could win a Scottish Cup final repeat for last year. Aye,
Clydebank are a decent side. They probably feel a wee bit let down, getting through. Kieran's got them playing really well. We were 1-0 up against Clydebank in the Scottish, and they made a few changes, and you could see it coming. We lost the big boy Jack Brapp to a bad knee injury, but you could just see it coming. But I remember watching Darren Henderson play for Cumnock, just ruthless, absolutely great football player, and he's obviously put that into his Hendo's took that into his managerial career. He's absolutely ruthless, and no doubt he'll be taking a game at a time, but no doubt he'll want to go one better than the disappointment last season.
That's right. The thing with Hendo, I really appreciate is he never knows when he's beat Hendo, and he's always enthusiastic, he's always up for it, and he makes good signings. Big like Brown and goalkeepers.
Aye.
He's worth a goal a game to somebody says. It's like big Andy Leishman Talbot. These guys are worth the weight in gold. The saves they make at crucial times can turn games.
Aye. People on the outside can turn around and say about clubs with money and who the players they bring in.
You've got to spend it wisely though.
Those players need managed. And I found out when I was at Gartcairn. Gartcairn had a great squad of players, including Tam McManus.
Aye.
But they needed managed. That was a big learning curve for me. They needed managed. They needed guidance. And as you say, Kieran at Clydebank and Hendo, Tommy at Talbot. They guys they've got to manage those players and get the best out of them.
I know for a fact there's a couple of players at Hurlford who are now not just as fit as should be, and Darren gives up his own time to bring these boys in for special training.
You go and work with them.
And work with them. I mean, it says it all when somebody does that. I mean,
see, a lot of fans, a lot of people on the outside don't see that. They don't appreciate it. But that, if Darren, Darren's senior football player, so he knows what it takes. He knows what graft you need to put in to play at that level.
And he's done it at every club he's been at. I mean, when he was a manager at Dalry, he got the Scottish Junior Cup semi-final. Then him and Big John were there, and they moved into Glenafton. They were pretty successful down there as well. And they went to Hurlford, and they've been very successful. So, no, Darren knows the game, and it's not surprised that they went last week and got a 3-1 victory against Clydebank. Well, let's look forward last 10 minutes or so to tomorrow fixtures, Jamie. And the first one we'll start with is the Old Firm Derby of junior football. Cumnock entertain Auchinleck Talbot. How do you see that one going?
Just a wee game, that.
Just a wee game, friendly match there.
I don't think. Probably a wee allegiance to Cumnock since my brother-in-law played there, but I don't.
What, your brother-in-law played Cumnock, did he? Yeah.
I don't think you can see anything other than Auchinleck Talbot win, especially after last week's performance, can you?
No, I mean, scored 9 goals then, but and then the last time they played each other, I think it was Cumnock 3-1 up, and then Talbot come back and give him the sucker punch, beat him 4-3, and
big game, and it's a massive occasion. They love it down there. They're really passionate.
Oh, they love their football, and they so. Everton Meadow, we were saying they were high flying, took a defeat last week, but Big Brian's got a chance of getting back on the rails tomorrow because they entertain Cambuslang Rangers at home. On paper, you take the medal.
You would take the medal, but you just don't know what Alan's done this week. You don't know how he's recruited, who he's brought in, what he's done, how he's going to set his team up. But I think I would say Irvine Meadow will get back on the winning road this week.
Fairfield Park, Kilbirnie led side entertain Troon, who they play each other this week and then each other in 2 weeks' time from now. So I think this will be 2 huge games who will decide which one of these 2 clubs stay in the Premier League next season. So
you'd be siding each other up, wouldn't you, for that game?
I think tomorrow Kilbirnie will get more to lose and Troon have got at this moment in time, but if we can get a result tomorrow, it'll be a great help to us.
Yeah, I think if Troon get a result there, you're right, it could be a long way back for Kilbirnie.
But who knows, if Kilbirnie get that result, the game in 2 weeks' time will not be for the faint-hearted, that's for sure. Kilbirnie, Kirkintilloch Rob Roy, they entertain high-flying Hurlford United. We played them last week. Manchester got a good side there, and with Willie Sawyers up front, and 1 or 2 young boys around the side of them. But they just kind of petered out last Saturday. I don't know what happened to them, but Hurlford going there after last week's 3-1 victory, would you take Hurlford to get the 3 points away from them and keep the position at the top of the league going?
I would say Hurlford, but you can never tell with Maxie and Rob Roy. As I say, they gave us a lesson when I was at Royal Albert last season in the Cup, but I think you probably can't see by Hurlford at this time with the momentum they've got. No, that's a good side. Largs Thistle versus Pollock, that's a good game in paper, isn't it? I mean, that could go anyway. I think it's one of these games who it turns up. But they say Largs 5-2 defeat last week, so they were looking to bounce back, but Murdo, he's strong to keep that position going at the top of the division. He'll be looking for 3 points. Decent game down in that surface. There'll be no excuse for football. There'll be no chatty bobbly pitches or anything like that down in the plastic pitch, but I think Largs might be a wee bit of hangover for last week's result, and Pollock obviously, I think they were 4 to the good last week, weren't they? So you could probably kind of see by Pollock for that one. Yep. And Petershill and Beath, 2 clubs who took defeats last week. How do you see that one going, Jamie? Probably see Beath getting back on the rails at that one. I don't see anything other than that. And the last one for the Premier Division, Renfrew, who had a great result 5-2 last week, take on Conan Rangers, who were saying all around are struggling slightly. Renfrew will have all the momentum, and again at their home pitch on the plastic surface, you maybe just sneak a home win there. Good. Well, there goes the final whistle from tonight. Jamie, thanks very much to yourself, and all the best to Thorniewood United for the end of the season, more so for next season. To all the listeners, thanks for listening. Up next, it's First Play Friday with Michael Lenny. A good show, it's well worth a listen to. If you've not much to do listening to Michael Lenny's show, you'll be impressed. We'll finish tonight with a song for the great Genesis called Turn It On Again. So until next time in Just the Juniors, take care, and it's bye for now.
Love music, live sport. Just the Juniors with John Redmond and special guests on Rock Sport Radio.